Here's the truth. For the past few years, I've been on a mission to achieve financial independence. And I'm not talking about just saving a little bit of cash or budgeting smarter. I mean real financial freedom. The kind where you're not tied to a paycheck, where you have options and you can build a life on your own terms. But let's be real. For a lot of people, this idea of financial independence, it feels impossible. And maybe that's because in so many ways, the odds are just stacked against us. You might be working hard, doing everything what's quote unquote right, but something just keeps you from feeling like you're getting ahead. Now, I want to share what I've learned. Financial independence, it really hinges on two really simple ideas. First is keeping your living expenses low enough so that they don't control you. And second, it's building enough investments to cover those expenses. But if 78% of people are living paycheck to paycheck and more than half can't even handle a $1,000 emergency fund without going into debt, well, how are people supposed to ever think about retiring, let alone achieving financial independence? And here's the truth. People love to blame the small stuff, like your $5 coffee or Netflix subscription, but here's the thing. The real financial trap isn't necessarily in those small purchases, though they do add up, but it's in the big things that we never even question. And one of the biggest culprits is your car. That's right, the thing we see as a basic necessity, it could actually be what's keeping you stuck financially. So let's break it down. Cars are a depreciating asset, meaning they lose value the second you drive them off the lot. And unlike real estate or investments, which typically grow in value, cars become worthless over time. And that's just a start. A car doesn't only cost the sticker price, it comes with a whole lot of expenses: gas, insurance, repairs, sometimes even high interest loans and payments that you have to do to finance it. Now, I get it. Most of us, transportation is a need, but here's the thing. Not every car needs to be brand new or expensive to get you from point A to point B. You see, every car, no matter the make or the model, it does the exact same basic job. But every year, millions of people choose to buy the latest model or something that's well beyond their budget, locking themselves into years of debt for something that loses value by the day. Now let's talk about exact numbers. So the average new car payment in the US is now over $700 a month. And for a used car, it's still over $500. And here's the kicker. These loans, they usually last 6 or 7 years. That means that every single month you're paying for a car. And that's money that you're not saving, not investing, and not building a future with. So just imagine instead you're putting $700 a month towards something that actually is growing over time. And if you think about it this way, if you're spending $700 a month on a car payment over 6 years, that's $50,000 out of your pocket. Now, if you imagine putting that same $700 each month into an investment account that earns a modest return, over those 6 years, you'd have so much more than $50,000. And now it's money that's working for you instead of just disappearing every single month. And I get it. Look, every time I talk about buying used cars, people bring up the reliability factor. They worry that a used car is going to break down more, it needs expensive repairs, or it's just going to be an overall hassle. But let me tell you a real world example. I literally drive a 2009 Ford F-150. Now, it's not flashy, but it has been extremely reliable. And here's the best part. It's been paid off since the day I bought it. That means no monthly payments, just regular maintenance and the peace of mind that I'm not throwing my money away on a depreciating asset every single month. And the reality is that for modern cars, especially more reliable models, think Toyota, think Honda, they're built to last well beyond 150,000 miles if they're well maintained. And when you buy a used car, the money you save up front more than covers the routine maintenance and the occasional repair. Even if a used car does need a repair or two, it's still often far cheaper overall than paying thousands every year on a brand new car loan full of insurance coverage. And by buying used, it doesn't mean you're signing up for endless repairs. It just means you're opting for a car that's already depreciated, so you're not the one that's actually losing value on it. And what's even more dangerous is the cycle that people get into. They buy a car, they finance it, and by the end, they've almost paid it off. They trade it in to get a new car loan and do the same thing all over again. It's a trap that we're always paying, always owing, and never really getting to enjoy the benefits of financial freedom. So you might be asking, what's the solution here? And it doesn't mean you have to go carless or or live uncomfortably, but consider this. Buy something that's reliable, a used car, and do it with cash. Something that you don't need to make payments on. Take the money that you'd otherwise be spending on the car loan and invest it into something that grows over time. And in just a decade, those investments could add up to a significant amount of money, giving you options that you would have never had you just bought a brand new car. Now, we live in a time where the gap between the wealthy and everyone else is widening. Part of it is systematic, yes, but a huge part of it comes down to the choices that we make with what we have. The reality is the people who get ahead financially, they aren't just making more money. They're literally just making different choices with the money that they do have. And one of the biggest choices, not falling for lifestyle creep or feeling the need to finance every new thing that comes out. Most people don't realize this, but every time you choose to buy something that you're taking a loan out for, or you finance it, you're effectively choosing that item over financial freedom. So here's the thing. If you're feeling financially stuck, I want you to ask yourself, what are the big expenses that are actually holding you back? Maybe it's time to reevaluate whether that new car or the latest phone or constant upgrades are actually worth the cost to your future. Because real financial freedom, it isn't about looking wealthy. It's about having control over your life and choices. Now let's zoom out for a second. There are so many different areas where you can save thousands upon thousands of dollars a year, and there's just so many opportunities for it. I'm going to run down a few of mine. One is I don't necessarily always get the newest phone. I kind of mentioned that already, but I also don't use your typical carrier. Most people think Verizon, AT&T. I use a cell phone service. Saves me like close to $1,000 every single year. It's called Mint Mobile. It uses the same cell phone towers as some of the big carriers. And also it is just a fraction of the cost, which is super nice. I had worse coverage with Verizon in my area than I do with Mint Mobile. And this is something that I will preach forever. The other thing is with the insurance I have for my car, being that it's an '09 F-150, it's older, it is easier to insure. But what you want to make sure you do with insurance is check. I don't know the last time you called your agent or called an agent. I would recommend Poly Insurance agents. They are fantastic. The last time I called, it was about a year ago, and I was paying double what I should have for the same exact coverage after switching a policy. So it literally cut my savings to $1,200 a year, and I'm going to end up calling them again just to see if I can get it even lower. But it's nice to just check up on that stuff. Another area that I was able to shop around with a bit, and it's highly competitive, is like internet in your area. So I was on Comcast and they were like charging me through the roof. I switched to some like crazy fiber optic internet service. It was like half the cost. And also it gave me gigabit internet speed, which was much better than anything that I was using before. And it's just been absolutely insane. A lot of it, I think, comes down to just not being lazy in going in, looking at where your money is being spent every single month, just keeping tabs, and then eventually just trying to figure out if there's ways you can cut back, other alternative options that you're not sacrificing too much with. You gotta be going all in on stuff like that. And that's going to be what keeps your expenses low, makes your life a lot easier, and it just gets us closer to financial freedom. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you in this video. If you want to check out my new investment strategy that's going to get me to financial freedom so much quicker, check this out right here. It is a fantastic video. And if you want to subscribe to my free newsletter, click on this link right here. It gives you tons of practical financial tips and tricks. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I love you.